Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Yashoda Nandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashoda Nandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Yashoda Nandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashoda Nandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Jayam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajacharya Astottara Satashri Srimati's Divine Grace Srila Bhai Charanaravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Nantakoti Vaishnav Vrinde Ki Jai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the lotus feet, Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayat Nasta Praeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Bhaktir Bhavati Naistuki. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. We continue reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 24, entitled The Chanting the Song sung by Lord Shiva, in text number 56. Word for word. Yatra Nirvistam Aranam Kritanto Nabhimanyate Vishvam Vidvamshayan Viryan Saurya Vishpurjita Umbruva Yatra Nirvistam Aranam Kritanto Nabhimanyate Vishvam Vidvam Shayam Virya Saurya Vishpurjita Bhruva Yatra yatra nirvistamaranam kritanto nabhimanyate vishvam vidvam shayam virya Surya Vishpujita Bhruva Yatra Nirvistamaranam Kritanto Nabhimanyate Vishvam Vidvam Shayan Virya Surya Vishpurjita Bhruva Yatra Nirvistamaranam Kritanto Nabhimanyate Vishvam Vidvam Shayam Virya Surya Vishpujita Bhruva. Word for word translation. Yatra, wherein, nirvistam, aranam, a completely surrendered soul, kritantaha, invincible time, na abhimanyate, does not go to attack, Vishwam, the entire universe, Vidvamshayan, by vanquishing, Virya, prowess, Surya, influence, Vishpurjita, simply by expansion, Bhruva, of the eyebrows. Translation. Simply by expansion of his eyebrows, invincible time personified can immediately vanquish the entire universe. However, formidable time does not approach the devotee who has taken complete shelter at your lotus feet. Please repeat. Simply by expansion of his eyebrows, invincible time personified can immediately vanquish the entire universe. However, formidable time does not approach the devotee who has taken complete shelter at your lotus feet. Purport by His Divine Grace, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. In Bhagavad Gita 10:34 it is said that the Lord in the shape and form of death destroys all a person's possessions. Mrityu sarva haras chaham. I am all devouring death. The Lord in the shape of death takes away everything that is created by the conditioned soul. Everything in this material world is subject to perish in due course of time. However, all the strength of time cannot hamper the activities of a devotee. For a devotee takes complete shelter under the lotus feet of the Lord. For this reason only is a devotee free from formidable time. All the activities of the karmis and the jnanis which have no touch of devotional service are spoiled in due course of time. The material success of the karmis is destined to be destroyed. Similarly, the impersonal realization attained by the jnanis is also destroyed in the course of time. Aruya krichrena param padam tataha patanti ado nadrita yushmat angrahaya. Bhagavatam 10:232. To say nothing of the karmis, the jnanis undergo severe austerities to attain the impersonal Brahmajyoti. But because they do not find the lotus feet of the Lord, they fall down again into this material existence. Unless one is fully situated in unalloyed devotional service, there is no guarantee of liberation, even if one is elevated to the heavenly planets or to the impersonal Brahman effulgence. A devotee's achievement, however, is never lost by the influence of time. Even if a devotee cannot completely execute devotional service, in his next life he begins from the point where he left off. Such an opportunity is not given to the karmis and jnanis whose achievements are destroyed. The bhakta's achievement is never destroyed, for it goes on perpetually. It is, be it complete or incomplete. That is the verdict of all Vedic literatures. Suchinam Srimatam Gehe Yoga Brasta Bhijayate. If one is unable to complete the process of bhakti yoga, he is given a chance in his next life to take birth in a pure family of devotees or in a rich family. In such families, a person can have a good opportunity to further progress in devotional service. When Yamaraj, the superintendent of death, was instructing his assistants, he told them not to approach the devotees. The devotees should be offered respect, he said, but do not go near them. Thus, the devotees of the Lord are not under the jurisdiction of Yamaraj. Yamaraj is a representative of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and he controls the death of every living entity. Yet he has nothing to do with the devotees. Simply by blinking his eyes, time personified can destroy the entire cosmic manifestation. But he has nothing to do with the devotee. In other words, devotional service which is rendered by the devotee in this lifetime can never be destroyed by time. Such spiritual assets remain unchanged, being beyond the influence of time. Om Jnana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurul Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manubhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sahagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Satadevi Pranamami Hari Priye. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Pascheta Dishatharini Vanchakalpa Tirubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Patitanam Pavinebhyo Vaishnavbhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 24, Text 56. Translation. Simply by expansion of his eyebrows, invincible time, personified, can immediately vanquish the entire universe. However, formidable time does not approach the devotee who has taken shelter at your lotus feet. We continue with this song sung by Lord Shiva, and here he is praising devotional service rendered by the devotee, and even the great formidable time doesn't touch a devotee who is engaged in devotional service. The time is a very important aspect, especially when we first read Bhagavad Gita. This is one of the 5 topics that's discussed: time, kala. And as Prabhupada is saying in his purport in Bhagavad Gita 10:34, it is said that the Lord in the shape and form of death destroys all a person's possession. I am all devouring death. So this is time. Time simply destroys. And when we read Srila Prabhupada's Leela Amrita, especially during the last days of Srila Prabhupada on the planet, when he's lying on his bed in Vrindavan, some of his senior god brothers came to visit him. And when Prabhupada was told that many of your god brothers have come, he asked to be raised up, and immediately Srila Prabhupada began to beg for forgiveness. And Prabhupada was saying, in preaching we may speak harshly. And Prabhupada was saying, he was begging for forgiveness. And then he told everyone, his god brothers, that I've never wasted a single moment. And you can see the result of that, how wonderfully he has made everything simple for us. He's given us this wonderful opportunity of making this attempt to go back home, back to Godhead, making this attempt to engage in devotional service. So it's all made possible by Srila Prabhupada. And these were some of his final instructions or his final realizations. He was telling everyone, I've never wasted a single moment. So this is how we can try and follow in Srila Prabhupada's footsteps. Prabhupada continues, everything in this material world is subject to perish in due course of time. However, all the strength of time cannot hamper the activities of a devotee. For a devotee takes complete shelter at the lotus feet of the Lord. So in the Srimad Bhagavatam also there's a nice verse that speaks about time. It's quite famous. Let's try and find it. 1 second. It says, time and tide wait for no man. And this is a fact, and especially one, except for one who engages in devotional service to Lord Krishna. This is from the Srimad Bhagavatam. And we'll see that how important devotional service to Lord Krishna is, because we can overcome the time factor, especially when we understand the purpose of our life. Otherwise, we're simply engrossed in wasting time, day and night, simply trying to satisfy the body in so many ways, and we have to work hard to maintain it. So, also in the Bhagavad Gita, it's explained how important and how easy devotional service is to Lord Krishna. There's a purport. Just trying to find it. From chapter 14, at the end of chapter 14, text 27, Srila Prabhupada writes in his purport, Shri Shri Radha Radhanath ki jai, Giriraj Govardhan ki jai, Gaur Hari ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srila Prabhupada writes, devotional service to the Lord is very simple. One should always engage in the service of the Lord, should eat the remnants of foodstuffs offered to the deity, smell the flowers offered to the lotus feet of the Lord, see the places where the Lord had his transcendental pastimes, read of the different activities of the Lord, his reciprocation of love with his devotees, chant always the transcendental vibration Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, and observe the fasting days commemorating the appearance and disappearance of the Lord and his devotees. So this is how easy devotional service is. It's easy because Srila Prabhupada has made it easy. If we on our own we had to study these books and study the lives of our predecessor spiritual teachers, when you see their and hear and see the austerities that they performed, it was very, very difficult. But here, by Prabhupada's mercy, it has become easy, and if we should simply try to follow the standards that he has set. Prabhupada is writing, devotional service to the Lord is very simple. One should always engage in the service of the Lord. Then he writes, we should eat the remnants of foodstuffs offered to the deity. See? So we have to learn whatever we cook, although we may be cooking for ourselves, but we should offer. If we're traveling, we should learn how to mentally offer our food, or whatever the case is. We should prepare. This is very important. In Bhagavad Gita also, Lord Krishna says, the purpose of food or prasadam is to aid bodily strength. So when we have bodily strength, then we can engage in devotional service. We can engage in preaching. So it's very important, prasadam. Prasadam is also in the very beginning of our devotional service. It's meant to aid bodily strength. Then Prabhupada says, smell the flowers offered to the lotus feet of the Lord. So simple. Devotee will come and serve you in that way. Smell this. So simple. See the places where the Lord had his transcendental pastimes. Now we are fortunate that we have the most important places, or the most potent holy places, by Prabhupada's mercy. Mayapur, Vrindavan, Jagannath Puri. And Prabhupada has established beautiful big temples in these places. And he wanted everyone to visit these places. Some say to recharge your batteries or whatever the case is. But we should try and visit these places. And all the holy places, especially are they in Mayapur and Vrindavan. I remember once, in 2010, I visited the Himalayas for the first time. And it was just before Kartik. And when I was at Haridwar, I was trying to arrange a tour with the local tour guides or the local tour operators, and they told me, no, you'll have to wait because it was just flooding and the roads are closed. So when we get the clear from the government to start the tours again, then we'll be able to go. So eventually I was able to go on one of these tours, and it was such a wonderful experience, because initially when we have, or at least before coming into Krishna consciousness, the only idea we had, at least for me, was of a holy place was the Himalayan mountains. And we see the yogis with the long hair and big beard and so many like these pictures where they. So it was such an amazing place to visit, and then we started Haridwar, going to Rishikesh and Ram Jhula, Lakshman Jhula, and then going up Gangotri, Yamunotri, Kedarnath, Badrinath. So, and when you go up, you'll see the beautiful mountain ranges, and when you look down, you'll see the holy rivers like a little stream flowing. And sometimes it's so scary when you're going along the mountains. It's not proper roads, and if the bus goes down, that's the end. You're just going to go flying down. And but I remember this place, Badrinath, and I actually remembered it more when I came to Vrindavan. So I was there at the beginning of Kartik, so I decided to join the temple tour for the Vrindavan Parikram, where we went every day on a bus to the different holy places. And they had the full itinerary of all the different places you're going to visit. And then one place I saw was you're going to visit Badrinath. Then I'm thinking, we can't be going back. I can't be going back to the Himalayas. So, but there is a place in Vrindavan called Badrinath. And I was looking forward to visit this place. And our tour guide was His Grace Dina Bandhu Prabhu, Srila Prabhupada's disciple. And he's so expert. And he relates the pastimes that took place in a very nice way, like telling a story. So it's so easy to understand. He tells stories to children, they can understand. So he has this ability of telling everything in a nice story way. So then when we went to Badrinath in Vrindavan, I was surprised that it was like an exact replica of the Badrinath in the Himalayan mountains, but it's smaller and miniature. And you can see the riverbeds, the mountains, everything is the same. And the temple of Badrinath is exactly like the same in the Himalayan mountains. So he was explaining that how one day Lord Krishna's little boy, he saw his father and all the residents of Vrindavan, that they were preparing different types of prasadam, savories and things like that will keep for a long time. And he was wondering what was going on. And he asked his father, what is all this preparation happening? And his father says, we are going on parikrama to the Himalayan mountains. We're going to visit the temple of Badrinath. And it's part of our culture that we must visit these places. And So still Lord Krishna was inquisitive. He said, but why you'll have to go so far? And you have to spend so many days, you have to make all this preparation for prasadam. So eventually, Lord Krishna, he manifests the entire Badrinath Dham in Vrindavan. And you can go and visit this place. Such a wonderful place. If you can't make it now to the Himalayas, you should visit Badrinath in Vrindavan. In this way, all the holy places are there in Vrindavan. And even more, all the holy places are in Sridham Mayapur. So here Prabhupada is saying, this is how easy devotional service is. One has to see the places where the Lord has his transcendental pastimes and read the different activities of the Lord. Read the different activities of the Lord. Srila Prabhupada has given us the Srimad Bhagavatam and of course Chaitanya Charitamrita, so it makes it more easy. More easy than that, if you can't read, you should simply come in here. Every day, Hare Krishna temple, there's a class going on. And you should come in here. And Prabhupada says, always chant the transcendental vibration of the Hare Krishna mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So here in the purport, Prabhupada is saying, when Yamaraj, the superintendent of death, was instructing his assistants, he told them not to approach the devotees. The devotees should be offered respect, he said, but do not go near them. Thus, the devotees of the Lord are not under the jurisdiction of Yamaraj. So, we'll find how important it is to always chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. And especially here it's mentioned devotees, that Yamaraj should avoid the devotees. And you'll find in the pastime of Ajamil, Ajamil was a very saintly person, but he got contaminated, and then he moved out and he moved in with another lady, prostitute, and he started another family with the prostitute. And at the time of his death, he was lying there on his deathbed. He was very, very sinful, and so his young boy, his son, was there, whom he named Narayan. And he was, at the time of his death, because he was sinful, the agents of Yamaraj, the Yamadutas, came to take him, the soul, back to the superintendent of that, Yamaraj, for rectification and punishment. But at the time of his death, Ajamil called out to his young son, Narayan, Narayan, Narayan. And as a result of this, the agents of Lord Vishnu, the Vishnu Dutas, came, and they took him, the soul, back to Lord Vishnu. So in this way, this little pastime shows the potency of the Lord's holy name. It doesn't matter of the potency of the chanter. The chanter can be anyone. It just shows it doesn't matter whether the person who's chanting is a devotee or not. This shows how powerful the name of Lord Krishna is. Although Ajamil was very sinful, he called out to his son Narayana, and he was thinking of his son. He was not thinking of Lord Krishna or Narayan. And because he called out the name of Krishna, the Vishnu Dutas came and took him back to the kingdom of God. So this shows how powerful the chanting of the Lord's holy name is. How powerful it is. And Prabhupada has also made that easy for us. That anyone can chant at any time, and especially here we see in the case of Ajamil that although he was so sinful, he was so fortunate that due to his intelligence or his previous life, he named his son after God or Krishna, and the result was he was able to avoid the Yamadutas, because the Vishnu Dutas came and took him back to the kingdom of God. Prabhupada continues, observe the fasting days commemorating the appearances and disappearances of the Lord and his devotees. So this is also a very, very special time, because that's where we receive the most mercy from the devotees. And in this way, when we should take advantage when these festivals come. At the end of this, Prabhupada is saying, Yamaraj is a representative of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and he controls the death of every living entity. Yet, he has nothing to do with the devotees. Simply by blinking his eyes, time personified can destroy the entire cosmic manifestation, but he has nothing to do with the devotees. In other words, devotional service which is rendered by the devotee in this lifetime can never be destroyed by time. Such spiritual assets remain unchanged, being beyond the influence of time. So devotional service, here Prabhupada is saying, is a spiritual asset that we take with us to our next life. It's never lost. Anything done in the material world we see is left behind for others to enjoy. But our spiritual assets go. And Prabhupada quotes the verse from the Bhagavad Gita that there's no loss or diminution on this path. And we simply continue. We see this quite often, that when people come to devotional service or Krishna consciousness, some make advancement very, very quickly. Some take their time, things like that. So it's all coming from our previous lives. It's all coming from our previous lives. So we are very fortunate. And here we are reading in this verse, or this song sung by Lord Shiva. He is saying, time, however, formidable time does not approach the devotee who has taken complete shelter at your lotus feet. So we might think that we are not on this level of complete shelter, but we are following this process that will ultimately bring us there, by hook or by crook. If we just remain on the path, and then we'll receive mercy, we'll have realizations, and in this way ultimately we'll come to this point of complete shelter at the lotus feet of Lord Krishna. Hare Krishna. Any comments or questions?
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Not long ago, someone said, I'm a pretender. So how can one know if he is a devotee? Can you actually know?
Okay.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah. So there's no instrument to measure one's advancement in spiritual life. There's no instrument to say whether one is a devotee or not. Externally we may be devotees in the garb, but there's no instrument to say, okay, here's a devotee, here's not a devotee. Therefore, the best position is to think everyone to be a devotee and yourself not to be a devotee. That's the best position. So whether someone calls you a pretender, very good, yes, I'm a pretender. You're a great devotee. I have all my respects to you. Yeah. Raghunath Bhatta Prabhu can elaborate on that. Hare Krishna.
Well, yeah, that's a good point. You can't really measure someone's devotion. There's no real instrument. But Rupa Goswami says that when a devotee is devoid of the propensity to criticize others, he is an advanced devotee. So, yeah, that's the measurement. So you can use that parameter. That's the barometer.
Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.